So Crisis on Infinite Earths is coming this fall, and with it, we're probably going to see most of the Earths that we've already seen in the Arrowverse at like in some way, form, or shape or another, because Crisis on Infinite Earths is a crisis that affects everywhere. It affects every Earth, so naturally, it would make sense to see a bunch of the Earths from the past come back. Um, Crisis on Infinite Earths also involves every Earth that remains once the crisis is over is combined into one Earth. So it's possible that we could see all of the Earths that survived the crisis combined into one Earth, namely Earth 1 and Earth 38, which is Supergirl's Earth. And well, off the bat, I'm kind of already lying to you because I can't go over every Earth in the Arrowverse because there's infinite Earths, but we don't actually know that many Earths. There's a lot of blanks that we have, but I'll try and go over everything we have anyway. So I thought it'd be fun to kind of run through every Earth that we've seen in the Arrowverse so far, or we've heard mentioned in the Arrowverse so far. Some of these I'll run through pretty quickly because we know next to nothing about them. A lot of these Earths have just been name dropped once or twice and we know like a tiny little bit of information about them. Not many we've actually seen. We've probably seen like 5 or 6 of these Earths, in this show or whatever. But the multiverse was first revealed back in The Flash Season 2, and it's been a main staple of the Arrowverse ever since. Unfortunately, it's kind of become a joke more as time has went on, while in Seasons 2 and even 3, when we saw a new Earth, it was a big thing, like when we saw Earth 2 for the first time, then when we saw Earth 3 for the first time, and Earth X, it's a big thing that we're like, oh my god, that's a new Earth. But ever since, especially with The Flash Season 4 and 5, it's kind of been like, they'll bring in a Wells from a different Earth as a joke, or they'll have Cisco meet somebody from a different Earth for a dating app as a joke, which is a little bit disappointing, but nonetheless, let's start off anyway. I'm going to Earth 1 and Earth 38, I'm not going to spend too long on, because if you've seen Supergirl or if you've seen Arrow, Flash, and Legends, you know those Earths already pretty well. But yeah, let's start. So, Earth 1 is the Earth that Arrow, The Flash, and DC's Legends of Tomorrow takes place on. There's possibly an Alex Danvers from Supergirl on this Earth, because back in Elseworlds, which was the last crossover, when Dr. Destiny is messing with reality, something that shows up on the reality is a version of Alex Danvers on Earth 1's new reality, and since Dr. Destiny can't see other Earths, then it would have had to have been someone from Earth 1 that became Alex Danvers, so there's probably an Alex on the Earth. There's also probably in the future of Earth 1, there'll be a Superman, because Eobard says that in the future he fought Superman, and while it's definitely possible he could be talking about a Superman from a different Earth, the fact that he specifically says in the future, makes me think that he's talking about the future of Earth 1. So that's pretty cool. I doubt we'll ever see Superman in the future of Earth 1, unless the Earths do combine and they just bring Superman over from Earth 38, that'd be pretty cool. Thanagar exists in this universe, which is the home of the Hawks, so like Hawkman, Hawkgirl, their species, and the Dominators exist. This Earth is called Terra Prime by people from other Earths. It's the center of the multiverse, which means that this is the only Earth in which you can get to every other Earth in the multiverse. A lot of other Earths besides Earth 1 would, if you're on Earth 10 and you want to get to Earth 36, then you would have to probably make a couple jumps. You can't just jump straight from Earth 10 to Earth 36. But from Earth 1, however, you can jump to every other Earth. You can jump to any Earth you want to. So that makes it pretty special. Earth 2 is another Earth that we know quite a bit about, and it was the first Earth that wasn't Earth 1 that we were introduced to. This was back when we thought that there were 52 Earths, then with Earth X revealed, it was like, no, there's 53 Earths, and then with last crossover, it was, no, there's actually infinite Earths. But Earth 2 was the first one we were introduced to, and it's been pretty important to the Arrowverse ever since this is the one Earth that a lot of characters have actually come into the limelight from, such as Black Siren, Laura Lance from Earth 2, who is a big part of Arrow. She is from Earth 2. Then we have Harry Wells, who is he's the biggest Wells besides Season 1 Wells, and he has been on Flash pretty much ever since he was first introduced, and he's from Earth 2. Jesse Quick, who is his daughter, is also from Earth 2. Hunter Zolomon, or Zoom, he's dead now, and he's now the Black Flash, who hunts people outside of time for the Speed Force. He's from Earth 2. On this Earth, there was a war called the War of the Americas in the 20th century, and Zoom's dad had fought in it. On this Earth, Oliver Queen, there's a little twist on the whole. Oliver Queen ends up shipwrecked on Lian-Yu. In this universe, Robert Queen ended up on Lian-Yu, and Oliver Queen was the one who died in the boat. And when Robert Queen came back to Star City, he became the Hood, and he was arrested, and it was revealed that he was the Hood. There's Star Labs here. A lot of the people we know are villains in this Earth, such as Cisco. He's actually called Reverb. Caitlin is Killer Frost on this Earth. Ronnie Raymond and Martin Stein, who are Firestorm on Earth 1, are Deathstorm on this Earth, and all of these characters are dead now. Joe West on this Earth is a singer, and he was killed by Reverb and Deathstorm and Killer Frost. Iris West is a cop, and Barry Allen is still a CSI. It's a very 50s-ish Earth. Like, this Earth kind of feels like what people from the 50s thought the future would look like. So it's a very interesting aesthetic, and it's definitely one of the more interesting parts the Flash has had. It's possible that there's a Justice League on this Earth due to on Barry Allen's phone in his house. There's 3 names listed that are pretty important, which are Hal, Diana, and Bruce, which probably refers to Bruce Wayne, Diana Prince, and Hal Jordan, who are Green Lantern, Wonder Woman, and Batman. It's possible this is just an Easter egg, but I like to think that there's a Justice League on this Earth and we just haven't heard about it really. Eddie Thawne is also probably alive on this Earth due to his name also being on Barry's phone. Nora and Henry Allen are alive. It's possible Aquaman exists because Atlantis exists on this Earth. Leonard Snart is the mayor here. There's a version of Damien Dark here. Shay Lambden, also known as King Shark, who was on Earth 1. He's been a big part of Flash in Season 2. He is from here. Felicity Smoke exists here. Evan McCullough is the Mirror Master here. And the particle accelerator exploded just like it did on Earth 1, and metahumans were created the same way as it was on Earth 1. And then we have people like Atom Smasher, Sand Demon, and Dr. Light all on this, who they're all normal people on Earth 1, where they're metahumans here, and the Dr. Light here is Linda Park. Then we have Earth 3, which is an Earth that we don't know too much about. We know a little bit, but not too much. We know that Jay Garrick, who is the Flash here, this is a very futuristic Earth. Like, this looks like a future that people from today would think would look like the future. Jay had a speedster sidekick that he was training, but we don't know what happened to them. Jesse Quick from Earth 2 has actually went over here. And there is a version of the Trickster here that looks very much like the Trickster from the 1990s Flash show. Earth 12, we have Wolfgang Wells. Not a lot we can say about that. Earth 13 was an Earth that was revealed in a Chronicles of Cisco episode, and it's where Wells the Grey is from, and there's a species on this Earth called the Ciscos. Earth 15 is a dead Earth, an Earth that there was probably a nuclear war or something and destroyed the Earth, and it's the only dead Earth we've seen. We've seen post-apocalyptic Earths, but this is the only one that's really, like, destroyed. And Neil Bohrman, or Fallout as he was called, all those radioactive particles were breached here by Cisco. Earth 16 is another Earth that was only seen in Chronicles of Cisco. Oh, it wasn't seen, it was just heard of. And a girl called Olivia contacted Cisco on like an interdimensional dating site. It was just used as a joke. Earth 17, all we know is that Harrison Wells is from there. Earth 19 is an Earth that we do know quite a bit about because H.R. Wells is from here. This was the Earth that Season 3 of The Flash kind of focused on a little bit. We saw it a couple times, not too much, but we know a good bit. We know that Abracadabra from Earth 1's future had visited here at some point. Coffee doesn't exist on this Earth. Gypsy and her father Breacher are from here. There is a Flash on this Earth who is called the Accelerated Man, and he is Purple Lightning. And he works for the group known as the Collectors, who, after there was a huge war where this Earth was invaded by another Earth, and they were like almost destroyed, they established the Collectors to kind of hunt people from other Earths who come onto their Earth. Or travel to different Earths. I like to think it was Earth X that invaded this Earth, because Earth X are the only Earth we've seen that are like really invasion, like they want to invade other Earths, they want to destroy other Earths. So I like to think Earth X invaded this Earth. The Accelerated Man is one of the most interesting characters we've seen on the show because we know so little about him. He's just had like 2 very brief appearances and that was it. I'm so disappointed we haven't seen him more, and I don't think we ever will because we've moved so far away from him. But Crisis and Infinite Earths will be a perfect time to bring him back. And there's also a version of Gorilla Grodd and Shade here, and that's pretty much all we know. Earth 22 is also an almost destroyed Earth. It's post-apocalyptic, and humans have had to combine with cyborgs to survive. There's also cannibalism here, and the Cisco from here is dead, and this is where Wells 2.0 is from. Earth 24 is another Earth from the Chronicles of Cisco, and it's where Sonny Wells was from, and as of 2018 they are still only on VHS. Earth 25 is where H.P. Wells is from. Earth 27, now this is an iffy one, because this is kind of only soft canon. Like, I wouldn't say this is full-on canon, because it's only been in one of the Flash novels, and while the novels are said to be canon, I know that the Arrow novel, they made Arrow novels back around Arrow Season 2 that talked about what happened to Slade after he got off, or after Oliver put the arrow in his eye and he had to get off Lian Yu, and they were all retconned when Arrow Season 6 came out, so it's very likely that these novels will be retconned, whatever, especially since they touch such a big comic book thing, and that is, this novel is called The Flash Johnny Quick. This Earth is basically Earth 3 from the comics, and that Earth in the comics is, besides Earth 2 and Earth 1, is probably the most famous and well-known Earth. So I'm really skeptical that they'd waste this on a novel, but the Crime Syndicate is from here. They are the evil Justice League. Like Ultraman, Owlman, Superwoman, Johnny Quick, and Power Ring. They're all part of the Crime Syndicate. It's also said that Barry Allen's dead on this Earth, Harrison Wells and Jesse Quick are dead here. It's also the Ralph Dibny, Eddie Thawne, and the Trickster, Harley Rathway, who was Pied Piper, Mick Rory, and Leonard Snart are all exist here. Earth 35 was also a Chronicles of Cisco Earth, and this is where unicorns exist. Earth 37, this was another Earth wasted on a joke about Cisco's love life, unfortunately, and it's from Chronicles of Cisco, where a random girl contacts him from the dating site. Earth 38, this is Supergirl's Earth, and probably besides Earth 1, the biggest and most important Earth in the Arrowverse. There's no Star Labs here. They have Catco, they've got Superman, Martian Manhunter, the Legion of Superheroes, Daily Planet, Metropolis, and one of Sherlock Wells' wives is from here. There is a central city here, and most people from Earth 1 don't have counterparts on Earth 38, which makes this Earth a very unique Earth, because, like, we're supposed to believe that there's a Wells on most Earths, and Earth 38 doesn't seem to have one. Earth 47 is where dragons are from, and H. Lothario Wells. Earth 48, all we know is that Breacher killed some people from here. Earth 51 is where Thaddeus Brown is from, and he trained Sherlock Wells in the art of escape. Earth X is also a big Earth. We know that it's the 53rd Earth, so I also like to think that it's Earth 53, since we haven't heard of an Earth 53 yet. But this Earth was part of the crisis on Earth X. This is where Nazis won World War II. The Ray from Earth 1 went over here after the Ray from Earth X was killed. Oliver is the Fuhrer here, and he's called the Dark Arrow. Kara crashed here, and she's called Overgirl. There is a version of Barry Allen who's called Blitzkrieg that was revealed in the Ray miniseries, which is kind of also soft canon. It gets a little bit weird. There's a Black Siren here. There's a Leonard Snart here, and he's called Citizen Cold. Wendell Shot is from, well, there is a Wind Shot here. There's a Quentin Lance here. There's a version of the Wave Rider here. There's Felicity Smoke here. Eobard Thawne from Earth 1 came over here, and he made an alliance with this world's villains. Tommy Merlin is Prometheus here. James Olsen is also here. He's a hero for the Resistance called Guardian. They have a Metallo. This is a really interesting Earth because it feels like this is the only Earth we've seen so far that combines elements from both Supergirl and the other Earth. So it's like Earth 1 and Earth 38. A lot of their elements both exist on this Earth, which is the first Earth we've seen that does that. Which is kind of like scary. Like the one Earth that has stuff from Supergirl and Earth 1 is a Nazi Earth. Like maybe the Crisis shouldn't combine the Earths because maybe they'll turn into Nazi Earths too. But both this Earth's Oliver and Kara died in Crisis on Earth X. This Earth's Mick is dead. This Earth's Sarah Lance is dead. And there's a version of Cisco or Vibe here, and he's possibly still alive. Another Earth that we know a little bit about is Earth 90. Now this is an interesting Earth because while it hasn't been explicitly confirmed, this is most likely the Earth from the 1990 Flash TV show. But it hasn't been confirmed by anybody. But we haven't heard anything to contradict that, so I'm going to go with that. This is also the first Earth that we heard that led to the Crisis on Infinite Earths theory because, you know, up until this we're like 53 Earths, huh? But this was the first Earth to go way ahead of that. It's likely that sometime after the Flash TV show ended, a JSA formed here because we see a lot of stuff like Green Arrow, Captain Cold, Hawkman, Hawkgirl, Stargirl, Huntress, Firestorm, like a lot of heroes that form the JSA in the comics. They seem to exist on this Earth. Barry Allen is the Flash here, and he looks like Henry Allen, so basically, like, older, just older Barry. This Earth is also probably pretty much uninhabitable now because it seems like the Monitor practically destroyed this Earth when they failed the test, when the heroes of this Earth failed the test. And then the furthest Earth we know is Earth 221, which is a big leap. But this is where Sherlock Wells is from. They don't have Thanksgiving here, and Jervis Tetch, who is the Batman villain, the Mad Hatter, he exists here. And that's every Earth we know. There's actually, surprisingly enough, not that many Earths, and of the Earths we know of, most of them are used for jokes or one-off lines, which is kind of disappointing. But hopefully Crisis on Infinite Earths gives us a ton of more Earths to see. Like, we just see glimpses of a bunch of these Earths right before they destroy them all or they combine them all. Because it's possible that after Crisis on Infinite Earths we won't have a multiverse anymore. So that's pretty... it's going to be crazy if they do that. I don't know if they will do it, but it's possible. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was informative. Thank you very much for watching. If there's any videos on the Arrowverse or on the MCU or any of this stuff that you would like me to do, like to explain stuff or talk about stuff, I would love to. So, like, give me ideas for that. And please share and like and subscribe and all that. And I hope you have an awesome day.